Okay, I think the bewitching hour is here. It's 4 o'clock. I don't think we have a quorum. It doesn't look like we have a quorum. We need 7, I believe, for a quorum. 8? 8, okay. Do we know that the people not here right now will not be here? Do we know that? Did they call in or
Jennifer is on her way.
Jennifer's on her way? Jessica?
On her way.
Well, how many we have? We only have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, just 5 of 5?
So it's
Well,
very
six.
unorthodox, but the city manager's rep, Gus, and myself are technically members. So I think for purposes of trying to achieve a quorum, if Jessica, the mayor pro tem, shows up, we would have 8.
We would have 8 then. Okay. Can't really open the meeting without a quorum.
That's correct.
Okay. We're gonna give her a big hand when she shows up. Now that it appears we have a quorum, I'd like to call the meeting of the Economic Development Committee of the City of Beaumont to order. Could we have roll call, please?
Or 11. Councilmember Julio Martinez. Councilmember Jessica Voigt.
Here.
City Manager Elizabeth Gibbs.
Gus Rumwell, on behalf of Elizabeth Gibbs.
Thank you. Economic Development Director Kurt Pelzer.
Present?
Chair Betty Rader. Vice Chair Richard Benecki.
Present.
Education Member Susan Aguilar Martinez.
Present.
County Economic Development Member Joseph Matthews. Post-Secondary Education Member Lasagna Patton?
Present.
Thank you. Community Member Jason Doyle. Community Business Member D.J. Taylor. Community Business Member Ron Rader. Community Member Cesar Marufo.
Present.
Did I do that right? That was fine. Okay. Industry Expert Member Vicki Brannock. Alternate Member Kathleen Billinger. Here. Alternate Member Edward Gallardo. Youth Council Member Candace Lamont. And we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Candace, do you want to join us? Come on up, either here or there, wherever you want to sit, but don't sit with the... Well, thank you all for being here and being very patient as we put together a quorum for this meeting. We do have a quorum. And at this time, I'd like to ask all of you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready to begin. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any adjustments to the agenda at this time? Do we have any conflict of interest disclosures? Okay, public comment period. Any one person may address the committee on any matter not on this agenda. If you wish to speak, please fill out a public comment form provided at the back of the table, back of the room. There is a 3-minute limit on public comments. There will be no sharing or passing of time to another person. State law prohibits the committee from discussing or taking actions brought up by your comments. Do we have any public comments?
I have no written requests. Do we have any phone?
No, not at this time.
Not this time. Okay, good. Okay, next action item here is the approval of the minutes. Did you all receive a copy of the minutes? Had an opportunity to look them over? Okay, I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
I motion.
Is there a second? Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank
Okay,
you.
motion passes. Item number 2 on the agenda is Economic Development Strategic Plan Steering Committee membership. Review of the recommended composition of the Economic Development Strategic Plan Steering Committee. Who's going to give a report on this? Okay.
Mr. Chair, Laura James, our Economic Development Manager, will make
Okay,
this
thank you.
presentation for you.
Thank you very much. And my presentation on this will be very brief. All of you are aware that we are conducting an update to our Economic Development Strategic Plan, last completed in 2019. So this new update is long overdue. There were several members of this committee who helped us select a firm called TIP Strategies that is beginning their work. They're already well underway into the research portion of their work, and now we are working on establishing a steering committee. So that's going to be separate from this Economic Development Committee, which will also be involved throughout the process. This process is going to go through about June of 2026. And so in your packets attached to the staff report is a committee list, proposed committee list that we put together of folks that are going to give us a reach beyond even what we have just on this committee as well. We wanted to be sure to incorporate as many voices within the community and the business community and the development community, et cetera, as possible. There is a little bit of overlap because we thought that that would also be good, not to just have staff be the only people who are seeing kind of what's going on both sides. But with that, what we would like is for you to provide any feedback on this, and if no feedback, endorse the suggested committee membership.
Okay, members of the committee, do you have any comments, questions? How were these people selected, the special committee? I mean, was there a public notice that went out, or?
Interrupt you for just a minute. We can ask for public comment prior to discussion by the committee.
I stand corrected, you're right. Is there any public comment?
I have no written.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any calls, Ben?
Any call-ins?
No callers.
No callers? Okay.
Thank you.
So to answer your question, Mr. Vice Chair, staff sat down with the city manager as well as with the two council representatives from this committee, this Economic Development Committee. As you know, our economic development staff is still somewhat new to the city, and so we wanted to make sure that we weren't missing anything or anyone who was very obvious, any organizations that we would definitely want to have involved. So that's why we made sure to bring in council members and our city manager to help sort of flesh out the list a little bit.
That makes perfect sense, and I applaud the effort. I think it's a great idea. The more input you get into these kinds of major decisions, the better the product. So I think it's important to listen to members of the community, people that do have vested interests in these kinds of designs that we're projecting for the future. So that's a great idea. Any other further comments?
I think I would just note that the categories, the suggested categories, I believe were presented by the consultant, correct? From utilities, higher education, they kind of gave the categories, and then the suggestion was the people attached to that. So it was prompted to a certain extent.
It was a combination of that, as the Mayor Pro Tem pointed out. Also, we looked at the last time we did this and sort of came up with, we made sure there was some commonality in the categories there too.
Okay. It seems kind of obvious in a way that these consultants probably have done this before in the past and have found it to be somewhat successful, and therefore they recommended it this time, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. Always hopeful.
Many times.
Many times, yeah. Okay. I don't know if we need a motion on this. We could do it by general consensus, possibly. If there's no objection. Yes.
What is the goals of the steering committee?
Okay. What are the goals of the steering committee?
That's a fantastic question.
From our student.
I know, that makes it even more fantastic. So the steering committee is going to be sort of an augmentation to the core internal staff that's working on this. So our internal team is our economic development staff. There are 3 of us. And then our deputy city manager, Gus Romo, who is here, and then the consulting team. And so This steering committee will augment the work of that, so there will be draft documents to review. There will be periodic check-in meetings, just like we will have with this Economic Development Committee as well. They will also be tasked with helping to promote the public-facing community outreach that we do. So the steering committee, we're really going to ask them to help get the word out when we're doing roundtable discussions, when we're doing community visiting sessions, so that, because it can be hard to get people to come to things like that, unless you feed them pizza or something. So, so those are some of the jobs that this steering committee will have. Does that answer your question? Yes. Thank you.
A very excellent question. Are there any other further questions? Yes.
I wanted to know about, so me being the post-secondary, trying to bridge the gap between the higher education and, high schoolers. And it doesn't have to be me because I might not be here next year. But do you think that they should be involved in the steering committee as well?
I would take any guidance from this committee on that.
Could have a youth council representative for the committee as well. I mean, that would be like an alliance between the high school and this committee. I don't know if it necessarily corresponds to your guys' goals.
And we do have, I'll point out that Ms. Aguilar Martinez has agreed to be part of the committee. We do have representatives from Mount San Jacinto College that will be part of the committee as well. So we are open to the feedback from this committee. That's why we have brought it for discussion.
I think I just asked that just because I live here in Beaumont. So, and then being a part of the higher education and like I said, trying to bridge that gap between the, the youth and higher education. Just that's all.
Yeah, I think it's a good addition. Yeah, I would welcome the suggestion for inclusion if you're up for that. I think it's a good opportunity to add and help to kind of bridge that gap a little bit.
Yeah, I would second that comment. I think it's, the more you can, you can get overbroad in this kind of thing where you kind of defeat the purpose, but I think this is a good suggestion, and I would not be opposed to it. Any other further discussion? Do we need a vote, Elaine?
I don't think so. It's more of an update and a policy that needs to be voted on.
I agree, and I think from what I'm hearing and feeling, there's definitely a general consensus here that this is a great idea, so we can move forward with that.
Very good. Yeah, we were just looking for a general endorsement, and with the additional that we've talked about, that's fine.
Okay,
We have what we need.
I think you got the general endorsement.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, the third item on our agenda is the downtown crosswalk project design revision. Staff is seeking committee approval to proceed with the revised design development for the downtown painted crosswalk project, incorporating abstract patriotic concepts in place of the previously contemplated American flag design. Do we need any general comments on this? Are there any general comments?
We have a public comment after staff report.
After staff report, okay. Then we'll have the staff report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So many of you will recall this was last taken up in April of last year, or this year, sorry. And some general consensus that was achieved that day was that there would be, the location would be established as 6th Street in Beaumont, 8th Street on the north end, and then the two sides on 7th Street. So sort of bracketing in that area where we have Beaumont nights and different events. Since then, the sort of theme that came out of that was that an American flag motif would be desired. After that discussion, staff felt like it would be appropriate to get some input from the VFW, who are very active in the community, and so the concept of an American flag design on the crosswalks was resoundingly rejected by the VFW staff. I mean, it felt it was a denigration of the American flag. And so it's partly why we wanted to make sure we were checking in with a vested group like that. That then put us in a period of a couple of months of limbo of, okay, well, what do we do as an alternative? And so the VFW folks came up with some ideas that were sort of talked about at the staff level and with some of the council people individually, and they weren't really terribly embraced. Passage of time, summer came, and we frankly weren't focused on it. It wasn't the highest priority. So we wanted to bring it back. The idea of, which is outlined in the report before you, of trying to latch on to some patriotic theme component of it still seemed like important. And so the idea of having a more stylized version of that, and there's some graphic examples, and these are only examples in your staff report. They're not recommendations from staff. But if that sort of patriotic theme of using red, white, and blue was still desirable, then we would take that and come up with some, we would probably hire a designer or something like that to come up with several concepts that we would take to the full council for a final vote. But we kind of wanted to check back with you all, get your feelings about it. If there's strong opinions one way or the other, we want to be able to report that to council as this goes on in the discussion.
Okay. Do you have the comment?
Yeah, we need to open for public comment, which is 4:27.
Okay, we are now open for public comment.
I'm going to try to read fast. This is a long one.
Is this a letter? What are you reading here? Is it?
It is a letter,
Oh, okay.
and this is from Cynthia Dietz, who is a business and homeowner in Beaumont, California. And I'll start, we have a timer on. I am Cynthia Dietz, a business and homeowner in Beaumont, California, and my community should hear my opinion on why Beaumont City Council should decide to only paint the American flag on Beaumont's downtown painted crosswalks. Beaumont crosswalk paint job has yet to be designed, commissioned, painted, but has taken an entire 8 months and counting for this committee to merely discuss. The amount of time and resources it has taken this council to just make a simple decision on some crosswalk paint has been absolutely mind-boggling for those of us paying attention. Initially, you proposed an art installation of a direct representation of our American flag on the crosswalks. Now it has been changed to abstract lines in red, white, and blue, and Americans in Beaumont are appalled. The 4 examples rendered are tacky. Please don't. Painting an American flag on the entire 4-way crosswalk is powerful, not disrespectful to our flag. It goes without our American aesthetic to downtown Beaumont proudly displays photos of our American soldiers along the road. The city of Banning painted the LGBTQIA+ flag on their downtown crosswalk. Is this flag representation considered disrespectful too? There are always black tire marks across it, and workers simply refresh it over and over and have been doing that beautifully for years. But Beaumont has spent months designing, then changing, and now hiring a designer instead of local volunteers who would love the opportunity to render an abstract concept instead of drawing the plain old American flag, which would cost taxpayers nothing. Then, instead of Beaumont volunteer artists or high schoolers, we'll need to commission a special road painting street artist who would also have to be available to come back regularly to professionally repaint the tire marks on their custom abstract murals instead of many local artists just repainting the American flag every 6 months. Let's see how much the cost quoted to us in April 2025 balloons from here. Beaumont and our sister cities have many seniors and veterans in our community, and it is with great embarrassment that we watch this committee allow unpatriotic voices to overpower our older generation's love for our flag and this great country. Every American flag symbol you replace with generic patriotism is offensive to the memory of those we love and lost, who paid the ultimate sacrifice, fighting for everything that flag represents. Americans appreciate seeing our flag everywhere and will never accept the fate of the UK and other countries that discourage their nation's flag to be displayed. Constituents in Beaumont will always defend our nation's flag, even on a crosswalk. Signed, Wayne and Cynthia Dietz and family of Beaumont, California. Thank you.
Okay. That has been received, and then we'll file it. Okay.
Thank you.
Any comments?
Are there any colors on that?
Written comment? Anything on the phone? Anybody?
Do we have any callers, Ben?
No callers.
Okay. We will then close public comment. Now we have committee comment.
Hi, I would like to introduce myself first of all. I am a member of the National Guard, so I am affiliated with the military. I think it is a nice idea to beautify our city, also being patriotic at the same time, but also appealing to the vast majority. I understand cost is a part of it. Maybe we can, instead of hiring people, we can do volunteer work like the note said, or we can find different ways in order to achieve goals of the patriots around our city. So I think we can try to come up in agreement in order to agree to the vast majority. So.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, I think as a veteran and a resident of Beaumont, I think the VFW is right on with not wanting to put the flag on the ground. I think that can pose a lot of disturbance for many people, and I don't think the flag belongs on the ground. But I think there's an alternative. I think you can, and especially bring people from the city, or whether it's students. You talk about the liaison here between the higher education and maybe opening up to an art department that can offer their services locally, and I think that would be helpful. But still keeping the American theme going, I think would be important.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me, that's what I was really hoping for, right? Something that brings us all together, something that is that we can all resonate with being here in the United States, and something that's patriotic was really what we were looking for and really trying to accomplish, in my opinion, when we kind of brought this forward. I think that compromise is exactly where we have to go in order to do that. And I hear Mr. Marufo as well as the Dietz family as well. I thought initially, hey, let's move forward with it. I've heard a lot of comments from veterans throughout talking about this and in discussing it with other veterans locally and their families, that they felt fairly strongly about not having that American flag painted on the crosswalk. In the staff report, there is an example of number 1 on there, which is a red, white, and blue with the stars on it. I really think this accomplishes what we're looking for, right? Something to designate downtown. As a nurse who has had to take care of a lot of auto peds, which are autos versus pedestrians, having identified crosswalks like this are helpful, and it does help to make our downtown a little bit safer, which was another catalyst for this project, was to figure out a way while we're waiting and going through our strategic planning for our downtown area and our revitalization to create this kind of bookend sort of process for our Beaumont Nights that identifies, hey, this is the place where something's happening. This is the place where it's safe to walk. This is the place that we want people to focus on. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but sometimes there's downtown buzz areas, right? So if you think about Redlands, you think about the area where they put the umbrellas up, right? This is something that we can do to kind of attract something similar. It's not exactly the same, right? Because that really has no besides being in an alley, it's not really that unsafe in that aspect. But this just gives us that opportunity to do that and bring in that patriotism, and allow us to have that as a whole here in Beaumont. So I really like the design of the first one on here. The third one, I think, would require a little bit more expertise. And to come to that compromise, I was thinking with the image number one, because it does seem like something that Public Works can probably accomplish.
So if I may, you can see in the image of number one, there's actually a tire mark that's already crossed it. So I think it's important for staff to strongly sort of establish that if we're going to do anything at all, it can't be a high school project or just a volunteer paint. Otherwise, we'd be out there every other week. It has to be a thermoplastic application. We know what it takes, roughly what it's going to cost, and it will be much more durable. It will have to be touched up occasionally, but not on a regular basis. So if the committee's comfortable with that, that's fine. I think if this image seems to be the one that is most endorsed, then we could simply, Mayor Pro Tem, take that to council as a recommendation if you all are comfortable with that. If you want us to do some additional design research, we could do that, and we could involve students. But if there's sort of a coalescing around something like this, that's an easy concept to advance, and we can get very clear cost data for council to make a decision if you are comfortable with that.
I think that the first one is a great compromise. It shows the red, white, and blue, shows our stars. Other than that, I mean, the only other suggestion would be actually words or USA or freedom, just something like that. But I really like the first one. I agree.
I ditto that comment. I think it is a compromise. It has all the aspects of patriotism, and I think it's easy to maintain because it's nice and clear. So
It will be easier to fabricate and install too. One, I do want to make sure you're aware at the 8th Street crossing, because that is part of a safe routes to school, it will have to be bracketed by law by yellow banding on the exterior of it. The other ones will not require that, but the 8th Street one will, which will look fine, but it just, so there isn't questions about why there's yellow next to the patriotic colors.
To make it uniform, would you do both of them with yellow though, or?
No, we would just do the 8th Street one, because that is a part of a state law, safe routes to school requirement.
So could we submit two to the council to approve? Because number 3 is nice, it's classy, right? Like, it's not just basic, I don't know. It's elevated, how about that? And our city's elevated, right? That's our thing, so.
I like that suggestion too. This one, to me, I think the last time we were here kind of discussing this, the concern was if we go, down the center is the picture for the downtown area. I think we have it set up to where there's something kind of going down the center. Wasn't it for Beaumont Avenue? And so I think that there was concern previously about whether or not if we did this now, what's it going to look like in the future and that sort of thing. And I think that the center of it, not being, and just having it painted on the sides does kind of lend to that. And that was one that we had looked at. I will say that while I like this one, and I would propose it as well, I think this one will be more difficult for Public Works. If Public Works was to take on the project, they currently do our upkeep on our sidewalks. This one may be more difficult for them, so we'd have to get a cost and probably some more information from them with regards to that. That would be my assumption, but I don't want to speak for staff.
Well, I just to clarify, thank you for that. Both concept 1 and 3 would need to be installed by a vendor because we don't have the thermoplastic application part of it.
Got it, understood.
We can do some touch-up maintenance, but the actual application would be a vendor project.
I kind of get the idea that there's a general consensus brewing here that we need to present to the council maybe 2 concepts, that the city ought to be the responsible party for implementing this so that we have the right material that will last a lot longer than possibly acrylics or whatever they call it, permanent masking or whatever. Anyway, and also I think you need to probably, and you probably already thought of this, but you need to set up a maintenance fund for this, because there will be maintenance on it. There'll be ongoing expenses with the maintenance, and I think probably that might develop over time, because initially you won't know that, but after the wear and tear and the winter and the summer and all that, you'll kind of see the degradation of that and what you might have to touch up. But there will be a cost, no doubt about it. There's an initial cost to this, putting it in, and then there are maintenance costs. You just can't put it in and forget it, because it's,
We'll work with Public Works and come up with and the vendor, and come up with some estimates. That information will be included in the final council report.
would anyone like to entertain a motion?
If I can make a comment prior
Yes.
to you doing that? I just wanted to ask, are these crosswalks anywhere in the area that we're planning the roundabouts for the downtown area? If it is, my suggestion would be we could put an American flag in that roundabout, and then that way we'd have both. But as a grown-up U.S. Air Force brat, I absolutely agree with VFWs not walking on the flag. I think that's, I think what needs to happen is for the American public to understand that we also have federal rules, that we're not supposed to duplicate an American flag. So that would be something else that we might want to look at, is having somebody, maybe somebody from VFW, to come in and explain why we're not putting a U.S. flag on the crosswalk. That might be helpful. Okay.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
I absolutely agree with you. Is it possible to create like a list of contending designs on the sidewalk, so we can like rule out which ones we want and for the public to agree with us? Because it seems like we all want to represent patriots, but we cannot come up to a decision what we want. So if there's a list of what we want, maybe it can funnel down on what we actually want on the sidewalks. Or instead of doing it on the sidewalks, we make a mural instead, and that we can put a flag on the mural or whatever people want. I think that can be a way we can still represent patriots. So is that possible to do? Or
Well, it sounds like that's what's happened already. I mean,
Okay.
we've had a lot of designs come before us, and we're kind of boiling it. We're at the process or point now, we're trying to boil it down. And we got these two right now that are being proposed. It's funny when you talk about art, it's in the eye of the beholder. And then when you talk about patriotic art, it really becomes an issue. It gets very political. We all know that, right? And so we're treading lightly here. We want to accommodate. I think the safety when this first came up, I was not all in favor. I don't like this kind of stuff, but I understand the safety aspects of it, so I have to go along with safety. I want our citizens to be safe. If this allows an extra safety measure to be employed in our city, I think it's a good idea. So I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to embrace it, and I think we can either have a motion to recommend these two, and with the city being involved with the implementation of it. I'll entertain a motion to that effect if somebody wanted to make it.
I'll make a motion to submit number 1 and 3 to the city council.
Is there a second to that motion? Okay,
Can I ask a question?
yes.
Is it only these four?
Only the 2 will go to council.
But it's only
Only these 3. There's 3 now.
All in favor?
Aye,
Any opposed? Thank you.
motion carries. Well, thank you very much. That's a great discussion, and that's why you're all here on this committee, to provide this kind of input, and the council really appreciates it, I'm sure. Reports and project updates from staff. Do we have anything at this time?
We do have one, Mr. Chair. Stephen Jones, our Community Development Director, would like to give you a brief update on a subject matter that he's an expert in.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Good afternoon, Vice Mayor and Vice Chair.
Yeah,
Stephen
don't-
Jones.
Don't
overseeing-
upgrade my position.
Both of you up there and the entire committee. Good afternoon. Stephen Jones, overseeing community development. This comment is to provide a brief update on the incorporation of your comments. The Economic Development Committee was very graceful, gracious, and committed comments to the voluntary Purple Heart parking pilot program. Lots of P's. We'll probably take one of those P's out. Following your previous review and discussion, we carefully considered your comments regarding visibility, accessibility, and the community recognition. In response, our draft pilot program has been refined to ensure that Purple Heart parking spaces are both highly visible and symbolically meaningful while remaining consistent with ADA and local parking standards. Specifically, the revised program now includes standardized signage, optional participation, which was very important, and recognition opportunities. Staff is currently finalizing the outreach materials. We're speaking with Mr. Lillibridge from the VFW to update, if necessary, any details. And once the council authorizes, we will be releasing that pilot program for rollout with flyers at selected locations within a probably small defined area before extending citywide to private commercial centers and those who wish to participate voluntarily. We appreciate the committee's thoughtful input in shaping this initiative, and your recommendations directly contributed to a more thoughtful and meaningful contribution for a balanced and community-oriented practice that honors our Purple Heart recipients while ensuring the program remains practical and sustainable. Staff will continue to keep the Economic Development Department staff informed because we will be working with them in consultation with how to recognize the businesses that do voluntarily participate. And we look forward to assessing the participation assessments levels and talking to you soon. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions? This is going to be in a volunteer program. I mean, the businesses will volunteer to have this.
That's correct.
Yes.
Vice Chair, and we'll give them the opportunity to be highlighted on our economic development website as partners with the city for Purple Heart recognition. So they get a little advertisement.
Okay, put it into a local magazine too, because everybody reads their local magazine.
That's a good point.
Yes, thank you. Okay, this is just kind of an update, so I don't think we need any action by the committee here. Okay. Okay.
We do have a couple other staff comments.
Okay. More the merrier. Let's go.
It's a little bit like musical chairs.
Yeah.
One quick update for those who don't know, we are celebrating the ribbon cutting of the Pass Area Business Hub. This has been a long time coming. It
Yeah.
certainly predates me, although I feel like I've done a lot of work on it in the last 7 months or so. That's going to be this coming Monday at noon. And we'll have the big scissors and cut the big ribbon for that. So we're very excited to finally get to do that with all of our partner organizations that are contributing to this effort. It is already open technically, kind of by appointment. There aren't real set hours. There's no one sitting at a reception desk yet, so you can't just walk in and get services. But there are partners already working out of the facility. So we're looking forward to getting the ribbon cut and then establishing a little more regular of a presence there. But just wanted to provide that update for you.
What time is that again?
Noon on Monday.
Monday, okay.
That's 514 North California Avenue.
Great. Long time in coming, but a great asset to the city.
I have one final staff comment.
One more
Mr.
comment.
Vice Chair, and that is, many of you were there, but Monday of this week, our partners Regency Development and the city celebrated a groundbreaking for the Target Shopping Center on Oak Valley Parkway. Target, Sprouts, and a whole host of restaurants and retailers that the community's been waiting a long time for that project. So if you drive by Oak Valley, there is a massive amount of earthwork going on, which is great to see. And I think we're still tracking, Gus, to a target opening probably March or April of 2027.
That's great. Yeah, it's great for the city, and every time I walk around, and people kind of know I'm on this committee, so they kind of bug me, what's going on, and everybody's excited about this. This is, it's been a long time. Now we need to get Trader Joe's to come.
Well, we're calling them all the time. But, just, and I've shared this with staff, I mean, the momentum of the Target Center breaking ground, we're already seeing residual things.
Yes.
Things in the vicinity across the street that have been vacant for a long time. We're starting to get some calls and some energy going on that too. So positive momentum has all kinds of good effects.
Yeah, I was,
Long-term gain.
yeah, short-term gain.
Right, short-term pain,
You know,
long-term gain.
In the economic development world, I may have said this before, when you have a parking problem, you know you have succeeded.
Is there any,
To all the ranting parents that
Yes.
yeah.
dropping their kids off at school.
I'm just, I don't know if we need to know this, but I would like to know it on that bridge. What's the timeline for widening that bridge? I mean, that should have been done yesterday, to be honest with you. But,
That's the hot ticket.
I mean, you're gonna have, with these kind of facilities opening up, stores, they're gonna have there's a lot of traffic there now, but you're gonna have more traffic, because people from outside the area are gonna come into the Targets.
Yes, sir. Well, our Public Works Director is on this and has been for quite a few years. And now with the funding ready to go, I think we're looking at about 2 to 5 years of completion, my understanding.
Oak Valley. Oak Valley.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you were referring to Potrero.
No, I'm
Oh,
talking
on
about Oak Valley, yeah,
Okay.
Oak
That
Valley.
one I'd have to get back to you.
Okay, I'm just curious, because, yeah, yeah.
Well, don't worry, sir. Flying cars are just around the corner.
And it looks like they developed they developed some pads there off of that bridge, and I know things are happening in that area too, so there's going to be activity, so we need to make sure we got the traffic flow going pretty good in that area. Anyway, that's just as an aside. Are there any more reports from your committee? Thank you very much. Okay, topics for future agendas. Any committee members have topics for future agendas, like the Oak Valley Bridge?
I promise that's on the radar.
I mean, do you want to put anything in? No. Oh, okay. Okay, seeing that there are no future agenda items at this point, and seeing that there's no further business, I will adjourn this meeting at 4:54. Is that the correct time?
That is.
Meeting adjourned. There, made it.